Well, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to share the news with you. Excited to share this report with you because this is winning. They are caving, folks, and this is so great. You're going to love it. All right, but real quick, mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack, save up to 66%. But my favorite sponsor, NeilJohnsonPhotos.com. Promo code Lumberjack, you'll save 10% on one item, 15% on two. Great photography over there. Go check it out, and I will be improving that website as we get into the new year. But man, I'm telling you, there's been so much news to cover, and I've had to get this out. But I mean, all the sponsor links are below. They're what make this all possible. So I thank them, and I thank you for supporting them. Anyways, Democratic governor. Americans are sick of masks and jab mandates. Just wait, it gets better. The governor is Phil Murphy out of New Jersey. Now, I know you guys heard about the Democratic governor out in Colorado talking about backing off of this and saying that the pandemic was over. This is a Democrat governor saying this. The pressure is mounting on these people, folks. It is working. They are caving. They're caving. The Build Back Bankrupt bill shelved till 2022 when they have absolutely no chance of getting it through. Do you understand that? Do you understand how much winning that is? They can't get that through an election year if they couldn't get it through in an off-election year. But they saw everything that's happening. And Manchin, praise God, somehow, it's got to be a God thing, has held the line. And so has Sinema. And even on the voting bill, okay? I'll get back to this story. But, man, you got to understand the big wins that we're getting right now, okay? If they won that, okay, and then the courts arbitrarily upheld that, because it would have to be that, because there's no way state legislatures have the plenary power to oversee their elections that is afforded in the United States Constitution and so on. I could go on about all that, and I think you guys know that. And remember, all political power is vested in us, the people, not they, the government, okay? It's in our Constitution. In fact, the Minnesota State Constitution, it clearly states that. All political power, folks. It's you and I. We're the bosses, okay? And they're starting to see that even... Okay, so Murphy almost lost his seat. Probably should have, okay? But weeks after surviving a narrow statewide election, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy acknowledged that Democratic Party support is waning because our Americans are sick of these mandates. When asked about his closer-than-expected victory over Republican gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli, Murphy explained that New Jersey residents feel like the government is not connecting with them. Now, you have to understand, this guy has been one of the most hostile and open proponents of using force against people who don't abide by his rules. Now, just across the bay over there in New York, they're going full on, and you could probably have seen some of those videos coming out, people getting arrested outside of an Applebee's for not showing cards, okay? In America, I kid you not, okay? But look at what's happening here. They're sick of masks, being told what to do in terms of vaccines, probably not thrilled with what they sense is going on in Washington. They may have lost a job or a business that went bust, or a loved one, or worse yet. Now he's trying to act like the sympathetic player, like he really has a lot of empathy and understands you. He doesn't. Don't think for a second that this form of winning is changing Murphy's mind about what's real. It's just changing his mind about political realities, okay? Even Governor Walz came out and admitted the political reality of him enforcing these mandates. By the way, we had a massive affidavit campaign where we were sending those off to him, to the Speaker of the House, to everybody here in Minnesota, to Janelle, to Malcolm Gal, who's the health lady. Anyways, health, that's just a misnomer. Anyways, folks, you've got to get involved. You got to take the action. You got to rise up. We protest. We send in the stuff. David Jose had a great little segment on Stu Peters last night. I know he's coming back on the show. We're going to go J6 again, and we're going to get more people sending those things out. We're seeing pressures ease up on those people. We're also seeing that one just got released by the judge. There's winning all over, okay? But there's a lot of battles. I mean, don't think for a second that these people have changed their minds, okay? But you can put the fear of God in them, and then keep praying, because we need a lot more prayer, okay? Going further, Murphy said that the government decisions and mandates have to be decided based on data, not just political coercion. Are you kidding me? These people, okay, do two things. do right by COVID. And I know all these folks, and they do that already, but keep making the decisions not based on politics, but based on the facts of science and other. Listen to that. Let's unpackage that statement. Do two things. Do right by this, but then I know they already do, but then you got to make them. Okay, so he's trying to have it both ways here, right? You guys can clearly see that. Okay, he's trying to say, oh, yes, we are, but there's these political realities, and we may be acting politically, but I just said we were doing right by it. They're doublespeak, okay? In early November, Murphy defeated Citarelli, a former state lawmaker, by 3 percentage points in an election that wasn't expected to be close. It came as Democrats suffered their first major loss during the Biden era when Republican Glenn Youngkin defeated Terry McAuliffe in the state's gubernatorial race. Other than Murphy, several Democratic governors have increasingly expressed similar concerns over their party's messaging to voters. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. I think we have to recognize and acknowledge that families have had a tough time over the last 2 years, both health-wise and whether it is or isn't from COVID, whether it's mental health and economically. Everything that we said at the beginning, and we've seen the increase in suicides, we've seen a whole host of real problems associated with all these lockdowns, okay? Now North Carolina, which is going to go red, Roy Cooper's, he's chair of the Democratic Governors Association. He's going to get the boot. These governors are running scared. If you think that we have a majority of governorships right now, we don't. To be able to call a convention in the states, we need to. It can happen. We can get 2/3, but you are going to have to pressure rhinos like never before if you ever think we're going to get a convention in the states through, okay? So just know this. We need to overwin. Okay, we need to overwin because we're going to have some rhinos that aren't going to have courage. Okay. And in perhaps the starkest comment from a Democratic governor to date, Colorado Governor Jared Polis said last week that he believes the emergency is over. And it's unjabbed people's own darn fault if they become infected with, yes, the virus. Everybody had more than enough opportunity to get jabbed, Polis told Colorado Public Radio. Hopefully it's been at your pharmacy, your grocery store, a bus near you, or at big events. At this point, if you haven't been jabbed, it's really your own darn fault. Oh, by the way, I know I saw a clip, Jill Biden, because he's everybody's president, even after he insults everybody, like the auto factory worker who wanted to talk to him about restrictions on 2A, whether it was the person in the audience. What did he say to him? Lying dog-faced pony soldier. But he's a president for all people, according to Jill. And so they are working very hard to get the children in that 5 to 12 group jabbed up. And they're on it, folks. They're on it. Okay. Despite the about face from some Democratic governors, Kathy Hochul and Gavin Newsom, New York and California, recently reimposed mandates across the state for businesses. Meanwhile, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, also a Democrat, announced that private businesses would have to mandate that their employees get jabbed or obtain religious or medical exemptions. That will get struck down. It has to. Now, I know it hasn't been yet, but it has to. There's no way that can stand. I'm sorry for you people who live in New York, but get the heck out of there. Have you seen the videos of people getting arrested and hauled away in vans? Come on. So this is what's happening, folks. It is winning because what we're doing is we are seeing that a number of them are realizing the political reality. Even in Colorado, they believe that the Republicans are going to run up margins that are just too big to overcome. Man, it's just glorious. There's a lot going on in Colorado out there where Tina Peters is getting harassed by the Secretary of State. And all you have to do is look at how much money has been poured into Secretary of State races and local races by George Soros. If you want to figure out how to win, model. Success leaves clues. I'm sorry, folks. It's really real, all right? Hey, I love you. Remember, support the sponsors. They support the show. And get some of this great merchandise. LumberjackLogicShow.com. Promo code Lumber. No, that's on the Neil Johnson photos, but LumberjackLogicShow.com. You get some great stuff, some Let's Go Brandon gear, some Lumberjack Logic merch, and other stuff. It's really cool stuff. Go check it out. And thanks so much for supporting the show. And remember, subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.